not even Fox News is safe from the ire of President Trump. Now, on Sunday, the president attacked Fox News and its reporting in a series of tweets, even going so far as to claim that the network is, quote, changing fast. Changing fast into what? Apparently, he thinks maybe Fox News has gotten a little too liberal. I know, right? Shocker. And says that they're forgetting the people who got them there. Got them where? To being... And I say this because it's factual information, not because I like it. That Fox News is one of the, is the number one rated news television station in the country. That is a fact. It is a sad fact when you think about it, but it is a fact. Now, of course, you can go into some commentary about how cable news is dying, how, literally, in this case, the average age of a Fox News viewer is somewhere between 69 to 72. So they are literally dying out, but so is most of cable, which skews much, much older than the internet. Now, that said, let me get some of the tweets here. We'll start up with this one, where Trump said, watching Fox News weekend anchors is worse than watching low ratings fake news CNN. Or Lion Brian Williams. Wow. Okay. And then it goes into how Brian Williams, of course, totally fabricated a war story trying to make himself into a hero and got fired. A very dishonest journalist, he says. So let me just stop there. He's actually right about Brian Williams. I do not like Brian Williams. It's not anything like super personal. I just don't like his style or what he does. I mean, or even the fact, because I go back and hate him for a completely different reason than obviously Donald Trump, or apparently Donald Trump does. When Donald Trump was launching strikes against Syria, Brian Williams was sitting back calling that the view of the missiles exiting the silo, and then, right before they hit their targets, calling them beautiful. Those missiles went on to kill people. That's not beautiful. That's horrendous. So instantly, any sort of respect that you might have for Brian Williams, and I didn't have much to begin with, to be honest with you, at least until I started learning more about cable news and really kind of how they operate and how they prop up the establishment, vaporized, gone. Anybody who thinks that that's beautiful, I'm not interested in, okay? So look, you want to go after Brian Williams, call him Lion Brian Williams. That's absolutely fine. Again, that ridiculous story when he was in the helicopter, but he actually wasn't in the helicopter, whatever, right? That's also terrible and ridiculous. But then again, when it's Donald Trump calling out hypocrisy and calling up and saying that you're a liar, a little bit of hypocrisy on his part too, because Donald Trump lies every single moment of every single day, almost, a lot of times per day. Why are you always lying, Donald Trump? But anyway, now, he continues. He says, in this crew of degenerate Comcast, NBC, MSNBC Trump haters who do whatever Brian and Steve tell them to do. Brian and Steve. Those are the two people apparently at Fox News. Brian and Steve. Or is he still talking about NBC? I don't know. It's word salad. I don't know what he's talking about. But he says, like CNN, NBC is also way down in the ratings, because it's all he cares about. But Fox News, who failed in getting the very boring Dem debates, is now loading up with Democrats and even using faked, unsourced New York Times as a source of information. He also said, ask the Times what they paid for the Boston Globe and what they sold it for. Lost $1.5 billion. Or their old headquarters building, disaster. Or their unfunded liability. Fox News is changing fast, but they forgot the people who got them there. Okay, so he goes on a screed, first against Fox News, and then against NBC, MSNBC, while also saying, I'd rather watch CNN than the Fox Weekend lineup. If you remember the Fox Weekend lineup, ouch. Sad. But look, there's a lot to break down here, okay? Now, as far as the Democrats, right? So no, they're stacking Democrats. They're bringing in the Democrats. Really? Okay. Now, for one, Fox News, there is one reason that Fox News brings on Democrats, and that is to get pummeled by Fox hosts. We have seen it over and over again. Remember the resident liberal Bob Beckel? I mean, come on, dude. Really? That's the kind of guy that Fox News loves to bring on. Just people who get beat up all the time. Now, they did make one mistake. They brought on Kyle Kalinske for a segment and proceeded to get slaughtered. Is there any wonder why they didn't invite Kyle back? As far as I know, they haven't invited Kyle back. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be that he handed them their ass? No, Fox News, and let's be fair, CNN as well, they don't like when the left fights back. And that's what progressives do. So it is kind of funny that Donald Trump's complaining about the Democrats they bring on. And again, Fox News isn't going to bring on a progressive, especially with, what happened with Kyle and any of the other progressives that they bring on that actually fight back. They're not interested in that at all. Now, he also went after the New York Times, as you saw in that tweet. He said, the fake and unsourced New York Times. Well, now, he was responding to a story about some of the conditions inside of the detention center in Clint, Texas. Now, this is a facility that Congress people had visited, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And, of course, what they found in that facility is that there was rampant disease, overcrowding, lack of sanitation, people told to drink out of toilets, horrifying conditions that no human should be able to should be subjected to. Least of all, migrants that were, that are legal asylum seekers. These are people that haven't broken any laws. But what's funny is that in his, ranting against the New York Times, started talking about their old headquarters, right? The old headquarters, unfunded liabilities. What? What are you talking about? And first of all, what's the proof that the story that they put out is fake and unsourced? Oh, you don't have any proof, so you're going to go after their headquarters or whatever. Point out some ridiculous things. I mean, come on, man. Trump also tweeted, the fake news media, in particular the failing New York Times, is writing phony and exaggerated accounts of the border detention centers. No, it's not phony, not exaggerated. Again, we've had people, Congress people, that visited those facilities. Has Donald Trump visited that facility? No. No, of course not. Now, does this mean that Donald Trump is never watching Fox News again? No, of course not. It's ridiculous. No, look, to show you, Donald Trump still hate watches CNN and probably still hate watches Morning Joe. I'm not kidding. Now, for the New York Times, yeah, he's not going to read the New York Times. But to be fair, he's never read the New York Times. You know why? Because that would involve actually reading something for a change. And he does not do that. And besides, he still has love affairs with, other Fox hosts, including Tucker Carlson, whom he actually takes along on trips now. I mean, that should be a bigger story. Him taking Tucker Carlson, who occasionally does have a good point, to be fair, to trips to North Korea with him. I mean, that's insanity. And then, of course, you had Sean Hannity, whom Donald Trump also loves. So I don't think that relationship is going anywhere. But it really does kind of show you how thin of a skin he really has. Even criticism, slight criticism, or not even criticism, but using a source that he doesn't like is enough to turn him against a network that, by and large, for the most part, kisses his ass. That's how petty President Trump really is, and how completely and utterly uninterested in factual information he is. When Fox News is saying, these reports seem pretty credible, and we're going to use this as a source in some of our stories and some of our reporting, and Donald Trump doesn't like that, it shows you who he really is. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.